as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And our like sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
Yo, I was just checking to see if my if the old mute was on, but it wasn't. Welcome. Late night stream. I just finished work. My God, what a day. Actually, what a last couple of days it's been. I think I did my day job like 12 hours yesterday. Just got absolutely slammed, but we're back here now. I got the sketch cards out a day late, which upset a few people. Sumo Thori included, Amanda B, who didn't get any, but I might have to just hook them up. But thank you to everyone who grabbed them. Tried something a little different. Put up a motorbike. Put up these fighting guys. Put up this dancing lady. That Sumo is very upset she doesn't have any cleavage. I might have to get a cleavage image for Sumo. But thank you everyone who backed. That was awesome. I got a couple of backers today. Which is very nice, always. 720 backers all up, closing in on 54,000. So I really do need to sort out that 55k stretch goal, which means I need to get a quote from the printer, because I would rather do a trading card, but I want to do it rough paper. I want to do it rough. Thank you for not playing the Budgie Smuggler thing. I only do that on my normal show. This is like a late night draw thing. I'm actually going to try and be productive tonight. Let's say hello to the chat. We got Buddha Bear in the house. Hail non-firsters. Frankly, O was the last first. G'day. McGregor Ball. I feel like it's been ages since I seen McGregor Ball. The lies are piling up there, Bancroft. 3 a.m. on the dot. What lies? We don't lie. How does it work for the first comment? Oh, that only happens on the 9 p.m. show. Mo Biggs is here. Hail, Mo Biggs. Very late. Great to see Mo so late. He probably won't be able to hang out very long, but I'm glad you're here. Jav Styler. Yeah, I'm doing this stream for all the Europeans out there. We got 6 people watching. So the good old days. I don't know if any... Oh, we got 5 over on Rumble. Wow, that would be great if we could get more on Rumble than we have on YouTube. It's a whole new day. It's a whole new dawn. Evolution in the house. Siege Perilous. It's so late, even the mute fairy is asleep. I know, right? John's here. Peter Gilmore. How you going, Pete? Pete's been crushing it lately. I need to start showing you more on the art share. I don't know what you're up to at the moment, Pete. If you're working on a book or just doing art. Either way, keep it up. Artheline is here. Yeah, Mo's got to go Betty Boos, I'd say. It's 9 a.m. in the UK. Lately, he always... I know, but he's just been showing a lot of it lately. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know, but I just want to... I'm going to be productive today. I'm going to stop sharing, so... I mean, you all know my book. If you're here at this ungodly hour, and you're in my chat, you're probably aware of the Lucent Painted Death. This fella is Hyper Wizard. Good morning, good morning. Junk is here. All my friends are here. So I'm just gonna get tucked right into it. Is that a word? Stuck into it? I don't know. I got a few frogs and wells and buckets and things left to color, but it's all gonna be the same thing. I'm just gonna be doing the actual highlights. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I've decided. You're either with me or you're against me. How about that? So nice and easy. Nice and productive. Mo says, I heard Rod's gotten stuck in it a time or two. Well, if he has, I wasn't there. It's not my bag, baby, I swear. How are you all going tonight? I tell you, it's been a weird couple of days. I've been so disconnected from everything. I don't know. Is anyone else feeling weird? I don't know. Personally, I feel great. I feel energized. I feel pumped up. I think I'm on schedule. It's so hard to know. Every time I think I know how long it's going to take me to color something, it takes a lot longer. But I'm going at a pretty good clip here. I'll do an update as to how many pages I have left and all that sort of stuff soon, so everyone can see where I'm at. But I don't know. I think it's going well. Tuck has a slightly different meaning nowadays. Bancroft says Siege Perilous. It does indeed. A nasty meaning that I'd rather not explore unless I have to. Pete says he's just doing random art at the moment. Some early work on Super Dead 2. Trying to snag that artist gig on Ethan's Elephant book. Oh, yeah. That would be amazing. Christopher Burkle says, up late. Depends on where you are in the world, I suppose. I mean, for me, it's 6:15 in the evening. I just finished work. Another crazy day at work. Full day. But other people might be a bit later for them. It could be early for them. If you're in the UK, I guess it's probably pretty early. Hyper says, the disconnect from the net is a good feeling. Going to the cinema today. Reactivated. Yeah, I don't know. Tampa changed me. It's just like I was so disconnected from what was happening. It's been really difficult to get motivated to get back into it. And more than anything, I just want to... What am I doing here? Oh, I'm coloring the wrong thing. More than anything, I just want to... Whoa. I just want to work on my book, you know? I just want to get it out. I want people to read it. And I'm so far away from that being the case that I'm just super motivated to do it. I had a great discussion with Pete Samedi about the Lucent and cults and secret societies and conspiracy theories. I don't know. I'm motivated. I'm not motivated by, any of the stuff I might be talking about in the shorts or anything at the moment. So I haven't really been paying too much attention. What's for dinner, Bancroft? I don't know, actually. It's that time of the month where cash gets a little tight and dinner gets a little sparse. It's usually scrambled eggs or something. Well, Frankly O says he's working hard on some ideas for his non-Ludcent entry. Excellent. 8-Bit says it's 4 a.m. in the US. Very late. Butterbear says, can we get a few sketch cards of your English-style cars like on the Waking Dream cover? Sure. I mean, I'm happy to redraw that flying cab. Absolutely. If that's what you want. Hyper says, Tampa motivated me to get a cool mini comic done ready for Vegas. Yeah, I just want to be productive. I'm just so focused on that. All right, Mo's out of here. Great to see you, Mo. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully Rob will stream, but I don't know if he will. Hyper says, money is a bit tight after splurging out at USA Foods. Exactly. Exactly. Isn't that how it is? I can't remember how I colored this. I think I need some different colored stonage here. If you know what I mean. John says, tell Melanie B that French food here in the US is most high-end restaurants. Is mostly high-end restaurants. It's the same here. These French, they think they own culture and cuisine. I think it's all about them. I wasn't expecting to do this kind of stuff, recoloring stuff, but duty calls. The USA Foods was good though. There was too much stuff though, and the problem is it is pretty expensive for what it is. I think a bag of chips was $7 or $8, and I'm like, well, we have similar chips here. We did get the Takis, which we can't get here. I mean, when I say here, I mean not in USA Foods. Obviously. But Victoria was desperate to eat some Takis for some reason. I had one. It's alright. I could live without it. Light up that frog. Who do the French think they are, says Hyper Wizard. Some kind of country? I know, right? Getting too big for their britches. Especially after we kicked their ass in soccer. I mean, it was down to the wire, but Australia won. Christopher Burkle says, I was blown away by all the varieties of Mountain Dew. Yeah, we don't have much in the way of like different flavored Cokes and stuff normally. But they obviously do in the States. I got myself a root beer. And it was delicious. It was quite pleasant to the taste bud, to the tongue. Can I give a shout out to Mel says, you know I'm listening. Hey, where's the lie? I want to give a shout out to Jay Ryan. I was just hanging out in the chat over on his channel. He's had some very nice, kind words to say about yours truly. Just want to shout him out. Inflated the forehead quite a bit. Good channel too. He has an interesting, he just sort of stream of consciousness, addressing things in the chat. It was entertaining. It was good. Talking about art. I mean, it's the art and times of Jay Ryan, so go sub there. Root beer is the best, says Hyper Wizard. Was it mug? No, it was frosty, and I've since been told I need to get IB something. I don't know. They don't have it though yet. They stock it, but it's sold out. Someone said that one's the best one. I don't know. IBC? Yeah, I was going to say IBL or IBS, but I think that's irritable bowel syndrome. So I didn't think it was that. John is very interested in what I'm having for dinner. He's even asking Mel about it. She says he's baking biscuits that you would probably call cookies for the kids' lunch. Oh. Rayton, who I met over at the elevator in Tampa, has joined us over on Rumble. Let's see if more people. We've got 16 watching on YouTube and still 5 on Rumble. We had a strong start at the start, but YouTube has caught up. I know we just lost a couple. Oh well. Is John still going? I was thinking if John ends, I might get an influx, but I don't know. He might. I might not. Oh, he has ended. All right, no one just knows. That's fine. Whatever. You got Jeremy Burt's in the house. J-Max says, "Welp, John just destroyed my CG in front of everyone. What's CG that isn't Comicsgate?" Sergeant Politeness just joined us. Oh, did John just finish? Are we getting a bit of a raid here? I don't know what's happening. Darkside Darren is here. Buddha Bear, I hear your grandfather's root beer is good to buy an alcohol drink. I haven't found it where I'm at yet. I think they might have that as well. I think I did see that. Not your grandfather's root beer. I think I did see that. But I can't confirm. Perth joining us as well. Hello, Perth. Oh, yeah, it's jumping up now. John must have just ended. Welcome, welcome. Come in. 20,000 people watching. 24,000. You don't have to watch us on YouTube if you don't want the link. I think did I? Oh no, I didn't. I didn't post the link. I didn't pin it. If you want to watch on Rumble, is there? I just pinned it. If you want to back a book and you're on YouTube, they should be listed directly under the thing. Get a book. Get a t-shirt. Why not? Alright, I've hidden the chat now. John said, no, I saved J-Max. Huh. Wonder what was going on over there. Hyperwizard says, I never wake up early enough to catch post-Kangs. That's funny. It's very different over there in the UK. It's a different CG. I'm just moving things around so I can see stuff. Alright. What are they looking at here, I wonder? Well, I know, but you don't know. I guess you can guess. It's oh so quiet, says my beautiful dark twisted Fago tree over on Rumble. Thank you for joining us over there. It is quiet, especially when you come from streams where there's loads of people there. I don't know, I'm becoming more of an introvert. I like streaming just by myself now, or with one other person. Maybe two. Especially if I'm actually trying to be productive, which I am. The joys of coloring. Hyperwizard says solo strings might help with eventual dementia. Yeah, I did used to worry more about dementia with the whole poker thing. Multi-tabling and, you know, all that sort of jazz. Multitasking. Right, CS here says, Hal Chat and the Bogans. Perth has noticed the Illuminati medallion. Now, what I would love is to be able to make one of them as a stretch goal. I don't think we're quite there yet, but hopefully. Somewhat inspired by the John Wick lore. This guy this is Alexander, he runs a nightclub. So if you imagine a little bit like the hotel system in John Wick, and they have coins and such. I can't remember if I came up with that before seeing John Wick or after, but I don't care. I'm sure John Wick didn't invent that either. But I do really like it, and it would make a cool little trinket, you know. You have something from the book that's used in there. It doesn't appear in Painted Death. It only appears, you can see that he's wearing one. But it plays a role in the next book. Pretty significant role. Funny. Do you hear a funny story about John Wick? I had the opportunity to watch it many times on the planes, you know, coming home from the States or going to the States. And I didn't because I knew, you know, Mel and I, we're fans of John Wick. We like John Wick. We've watched them all. But we hadn't seen the fourth one. We don't go to the movies because we're parents. So we have to wait until they come out on the stream. And so we did. We waited and we waited, and it just wasn't coming out on any streaming thing, but you could rent it. So eventually we were like, well, fine. You know, even though we pay all this money to these friggin' companies to stream, let's rent John Wick. And we we sit down to watch it, and I'm watching it, and about an hour in, I start to get those body twitches, you know? And I'm like, oh God, I'm falling asleep. And Mel's like, you're sleeping. I'm like, no, I'm fine. And then 20 minutes later, I was like, I found myself waking up. And I was like, okay, let's watch it tomorrow night. So then tomorrow night comes around. We have about an hour and a half left, and it's a long movie. And we're getting through it. There's about half an hour left, and I start doing it again. Because, I mean, I get up at 5. I'm like, by now it's, you know, 10 o'clock. I'm like drifting. And so we said, oh, well, let's watch it tomorrow night. We'll do the last half hour. Anyway, we go back to watch the last half hour last night, and it's expired. So I haven't seen the end of John Wick 4. Please don't spoil it for me. I mean, I assume he goes in and kills a lot of people, and he kills that guy, the Marquis or the Marquise or whatever the hell he is. But I don't know, could be wrong. Cyberchud says Kelsey has been excommunicated. Never. Never. Not my Kelsey. Kelsey has a place at this consecrated hotel for all time. Hyperwiz said, I bit the bullet and rented The Fifth Element. You haven't seen The Fifth Element? Oh, yes. I can't believe we rented it, finally, and it expired on us. Unbelievable. Hyperwizard says, spoiler, he uses guns. I think in the movie he says, pistols. Like that. Yeah, Fifth Element is the bee's knees. Love it. He kills someone with a pencil. With a king pencil. Yeah. I'm going to leave this panel. There's something special I want to do in that panel, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. Look at this frog. Just looking out to the ocean, wondering, what's out there? What will I find? That frog looks stressed, says Perth Comics. It's about to disappear. It's about to pop out of existence, so maybe it knows something. Knows something's coming. It's pining for the fjords, says Frank Leo. Could be. It's pining for the well that it just came out of. It was so much, things were so much simpler in the well. It could understand everything. It knew its place down there. This is like a big open world. Unexplored, dangerous adventure. So it's, you know, pensive. Apprehensive, I should say, not pensive. The end is nigh, says Perth Comics. It's actually about a notorious Australian criminal, but it's a pretty good film. What are you guys talking about? Chopper? Oh, yeah. Must be, says Eric Banner. Yeah, Chopper's great. Chopper is the first film I showed Mel. When I met Mel and I was like, let's go rent a movie. This was back in Germany too. I was like, let's watch a little bit of Australiana. And I showed her Chopper. And, yeah, that was interesting. She didn't quite get the thing. John says that frog is Ethan trying to make Shane happy. It's like sad. Oh. Yeah, Chopper is well worth. Chopper is what made Eric Banner's career. Eric Banner, up until then, was a TV comedian here in Australia, and then he was a movie star for a while. Hyper Wizard got Shane's top secret tier bundle just now. He's excited for Accend. Perth says Ned Kelly is better than Chopper. Which Ned Kelly? Perth. Is that the one with oh god, I'm blanking on his name. You know that guy. The guy. The guy who played the Joker, who died. Is that one? Because I haven't seen that one. Dan says, you savage bankrupt. Follow it up with Romper Stomper with Russell Crowe. I can't remember if I made her watch Romper Stomper. I probably didn't. Because Romper Stomper disturbed me as a kid because everywhere they went in Romper Stomper was where I went, when I was a kid. They go to the train station. They're like, oh, that's Richmond Station, where I go to school, I mean, there were no skinheads, thankfully. Oh, there were some skinheads way back in the day, but not really as I got older. But, yeah. It just cut a little bit too close to home, the old Romper Stomper, for me. Great performances, though. But now that I look back on it, I think it's just, kind of F white people propaganda, Was that really a big thing back in the day? I don't know. I mean, we were told it was, but we're kind of told that it is now. I don't know. Oh, Mel says, I did make her watch it. Hey, fantastic performance by Russell Crowe. Bernard Fanning has a cameo in that Ned Kelly movie? No way. I saw Bernard Fanning at a traffic light once. There's this band here called Powderfinger who are just like this phenomenal Australian band. Kind of like a pub band that made it big. I don't know if they got famous over in the States, but I mean here they're massive. And Bernard Fanning was their lead singer, and I was just stopped the lights and I look over and there's Bernard Fanning in the car next to me, and I'm like, hey! He was just looking down. Heath Ledger. Thank you, Antoine. Yes. Yeah, I got to check that out. I don't know why I haven't seen it. And I'm pretty into Ned Kelly. I like Ned Kelly. I don't know why I never saw the movie. Hyper Wizard says, seeing everyone get their Grokens is exciting. I wish I got a sketch. Yeah. Oh my god, those sketches. I don't know how he does it. I mean, I can look at it and it looks like it's something you could do, but I don't know. I don't think it is. There's some secret sauce going on. Winslow Red Cross says he has a book on Ned Kelly. Actually, they mentioned Ned Kelly in friggin' John Wick. He's like the famous line that he said, "Such is life." Every Australian bogan with a tattoo has "Such is life" tattooed somewhere on their body. That's a thing. Moromi says the sketch practically goes. That's what I'm talking about. How does he do that? James Max is like, no one in the US knows any of these people. Look into them. Powderfinger, Bernard Fanning, top band. Over on Rumble, my beautiful dark twisted fagotree only knows him as Bruce Banner. He was in Star Trek. He was in a bunch of movies. Ned Kelly was the first RoboCop. Yes, but he was an outlaw. He was a bushranger. He was on the other side of the law. Which made him cool. He was just fighting a corrupt system. He was the first Iron Man. Yes. He was. He was in Munich. Yep. But as Sir Angus Fungus rightly points out to me, he will always be Puida. G'day, I'm Puida. Here's Brad the Few. He says, if you're talking about the movie The True History of the Kelly Gang, which I haven't seen. I don't think I've seen a single Ned Kelly movie. He says it's an abomination. Oh no. But Eric Banner actually lives. Well, I used to live closer to him. He's I'm a bit further out now, but I used to see him somewhat regularly. He would. He's pretty easy to spot because he drives these muscle cars, and there's not many of them. I'm talking like real old school muscle car kind of things that he does up. You'd see him driving around. Anytime you'd see that kind of car, you'd look in, and sometimes it would be him. Probably going to get some milk or something. The Eric Banner sighting, but I don't know if he still lives there. I don't live in that area anymore. Dan says, I think Mick Jagger was Ned Kelly before. I think he was. Yeah, Mad Max type stuff. Yeah, but obviously all kind of done up. Brad says, Eric Banner as Chopper is the real deal. I mean, he's even more Chopper than the actual Chopper to me. It's like, that's Chopper to me. One Wicked Eva says, I used to see JWoww and Snooki all the time. Lucky me. Yeah, congratulations. Brad is my, well, it used to be when I used to play, my kind of partner in crime in the poker world. And he's still playing. I don't have time anymore. I got to do this. But, which I'm very happy to do, obviously. I don't want to make it sound like it's a chore or anything. But Brad, I just watched a hand. I'm watching a lot of hands on YouTube. That's how I kind of get my poker fix. I just watched a hand with Tom Dwan and Wesley for $3.1 million. It's getting crazy out there in the poker world. Kind of makes you want to get back into it, but also not. Got to train for Vegas, says Hyper Wizard. Yeah. When is that? When is Vegas? It's middle next year? Don't bluff Dwan. Yeah, I know, right? Just call you down for $1.5 million with one pair. And then have a beer. Dan says, this drawing is a representation of me getting my kid out of the crib in the morning. This drawing is a representation of someone who's been living a sheltered life, not seeing everything outside of the small world that they know, And the hand reaching in and pulling them out and then showing them just how big the world actually is. Draw your own conclusions from that. I do feel like I'm going to get a good number of people saying, what the was up with that frog? But I don't care. If you read the interview section in Waking Dream, which I know a lot of you didn't because I didn't put that in the reprint, there is a discussion about the frog in the well. Maybe I'll have to put them all up on the website at some point so everyone who loved them so much can get a chance to read them if they want. Echoes of Plato's Cave, says Antoine Dennison. Hyperwizard says April. Yeah, well, I'm kind of committed to go back to the States anyway because my thinking is I don't want to be making any profit from Painted Death because if I have profit, then I have to pay tax. Much better to reinvest that money into new books or marketing like conventions and selling stuff, that sort of stuff. So I shall return. Christopher says Camel doesn't like the interview. I don't think he did. No, I don't think Rob or Camel. It wasn't their bag. And I get it because it was sort of something similar to the extra stuff in The Watchmen. I don't think I read that either, so I don't blame people. That's fine. It's a take it or leave it sort of situation. Some people like them, some people don't, and that's fine. Don't report profits, says Junk6. Do it all cash. There's no more cash anymore. Cash is done in Australia. They've gotten rid of it. It's a disgrace. Which I do wonder how poker players are going to deal with that. Cashless society. I don't know how that's going to work. Brad says, play some cards. I'll help. I'll help make sure there's no profit. We were talking about you the other day, Brad, because we've been playing poker with the kids. Getting them in, like, babies first hold'em. And we were just talking a little bit about you. And Mel said, he's very, very good at poker. And he's bloody lucky. Luckier than Papa. Hyperwizard has it. I'd rather spend it than give it to the government. Exactly. Why report, $5,000 or $6,000 profit when you can just spend that going to the States and having a blast and meeting people and marketing yourself and promoting and... God, why give it to the government? Have you seen what they've been doing with it? Ew. Mel says, where's the lie? And Brad says, oh yeah, it's luck. It's all luck. Exactly. I knew it was the whole time. We're going to start trying to actually play a poker game on Camel's show. I think you can do it through PokerStars. You can set up what are called home games. I think so anyway. That's what I saw, so we'll look into that. It should be fun. I don't know. We'll see. I said we should invite people from the chat to come play. It could become like a community building thing. But they seem to say, like, I only want to play with us. And I'm like, well, that's not really the fun of poker. The fun of poker is playing with other people. But we'll see. I don't know. Not my show. Dan says, just looking online, it says Vegas Comic Con is in February. Oh, February. I thought it was later than that. Maybe it's a different Comic Con. I don't know. I mean, not that I can't make February. But I might be in the thick of, you know, production at that time, so I can't be late on this book. I just can't be. I've never been more focused in getting work done. Seven says, I have lost any... Do you mean I haven't lost any money playing poker? Is that because you're really good at it or you haven't played? There's two ways to interpret that. Oh, February is Hawaii. Everyone is late, said Speed Killer. Not everyone. It's getting harder and harder these days because everyone, you know, expects the books to be done when you go live, and it's the whole thing. I'll do my best. That's all I can do. Dan's saying, no, just looked online. I don't know. Cowabunga Joe says, my dad, God rest his soul, will always say the same. Spend it before they tax you. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be pretty obvious. Like, you can use the money that you make to buy things that you need and then keep them. And, you know, or to go places where you need to go, where you should go. Why not do that? Yeah, so that's at least my plan. That's why I need to get the book done so I can spend the money where it's needed. Everything hinges on that. We got Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs says, hey, you Bancroft. Hey, chat. We have 34 people here watching at this obscenely late hour. Thank you so much to everyone. I am currently coloring this. This is the second scene from Painted Death. If you are not familiar with it, which, I don't know, maybe you aren't. Here it is. Here it is, right here. 720 backers. Man, that's crazy. Oh, we might have one more, actually. Holy crap. Oh, no, that just come in? No, that is that one. Yeah, I got a couple of big orders today, which is very nice. And I sold a bunch of these sketch cards and everything. So if you haven't backed it, here it is. Check it out on my own website, thelucentcomic.com. Adding new sketch cards every week to the already bountiful offering. Jump on it. All right, back to coloring. Gotta get this done. Back to work. We need Jim Shooter to get on Bancroft's ass, says Ellie Muniz. Yeah. I do have an editor. But I'm kind of paying him, so it's a little bit different. Just a little bit. This will be interesting. A lot of these pages I drew on stream. If you were here, if you remember, if you recall. Did you go anywhere besides Tampa when you were in the US, Bancroft? That was Courtney. Well, yes and no. So I went to Jacksonville. I spent most of my time in Jacksonville, actually, with Camel. Obviously went to Tampa. I went to places, but really just I went to the airport. I didn't really get to go and see anything and do anything. Had to get back to the book. Had to get back to work. Back to the family. Yeah, I'll be coming back, so. And I think the next time, yeah, I definitely want to, Vegas, that's why Vegas sounds cool, because every time I come back, I would want to go to somewhere new so I could meet, people who missed out the first time. But I did mostly stay in Florida, yeah. Buddha Bear says, are you going to print the shirts and ship them if people pay for it? Yes. Yeah, I will be printing the t-shirts probably at the closeout of, I'll start printing them when the campaign is coming to the 60-day period. And we figured that out, actually, that all I have to do is, if someone does want to, I can just add a little, they can send me a message, I can add a little shipping thing, like $10 shipping or whatever, and I can send them out straight away. So yeah, probably when I get to, I think I've sold 85, so I'll probably want to print a little bit over 100 so that I have some left to sell. But maybe not. Maybe I just make a new design. I don't know. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do there. But yes, I definitely will print them up earlier. And if people want them sooner, yeah, they can pay for that. Otherwise, they can just sit back, relax. Vegas is overrated, says Courtney. Well, I am a poker player, so I think I'd like it. Mostly for that, though. I want to meet people. That's usually, I just want to... It's weird because I'm a bit of an introvert, but I do like meeting comic skaters. Everyone I met in Tampa was the best, and I want to meet more of you. Did I even fire a gun in the US? I didn't. I held a gun. I touched a gun, but I didn't fire one. That would have been quite rude if I fired it. But I've fired guns before. I'd like to fire some big guns. I've only fired pistols. Hyperwiz said, is Bancroft the first man to have a coupon code to add shipping? Maybe. But, by choice. Only if you want to. No pressure. No pressure. It's an option. Added option. Would I go to Binion's? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Is Binion's still a big thing? I know it's kind of like maybe it's like a mecca or something. But, I don't know. It's where a lot of Vegas poker started. Jug says Bancroft touched Camel's gun. So I'm not going to elaborate on that. Is it every bogan's dream to follow Paul Hogan's journey in Crocodile Dundee? Maybe a little bit, yeah. The F is Binions, asked J-Max. It's a famous old casino on the Strip. Not Bunions. It's where they used to play the World Series of Poker back in the day. It's on Fremont Street, the old Strip. And Courtney wants to point out, you know, Atlantic City has gambling. I'd love to go to Atlantic City too. I'd love to go everywhere. To get a Winnebago and just spend 2 years zigzagging across the states with Mel. We got Dean in the house. Dean, who's currently, I believe, working on a Lucent fan art piece, which I'm very excited to see. When I was originally working on this panel here, which I envisioned, and I was drawing it, and then Ethan came on while I was drawing it, and he was saying he would do this shadow just in the inks. And I was like, I do all that stuff in the coloring, you know. But I'm happy with how this came out. I think it looks cool. It's exactly what I envisioned it might be. It's going to blow minds, says Dean. I can't wait. And I believe you. I believe you. Courtney wants to know when Dean is going to visit the US. I want to know when I'm going to visit Dean. We need to do an Australian meetup. I think it's long overdue. We talk about it and we talk about it, but we never do it. I think I'm just going to have to friggin' organize it. Antoine Dennison says that well represents the anus of the metaphysical realm. Yeah, Courtney, we haven't met, and we live in the same city, and we've been sort of, you know, hanging in the same circle for like 3 years now. It's ridiculous. It's time we do it. All right, I'm going to organize that. It's ridiculous. Maybe a dinner. The dinner that we had in Florida was just, was amazing. Let's do that. I'll give everyone time because there's Australians obviously up in Queensland and Sydney and Adelaide and Perth, of course. You know, give them time to come over, but yeah, let's organize that. Is Robin Bancroft returning this week? I hope it is. I feel like we have so much to discuss, but it's not getting discussed because Rob's like, can't be fucked, you know. What does he say? CBF. Although I understand, I've been sort of a bit out of it myself lately with a lot of stuff. Perth says, oi! Yeah, you would be invited, Perth, of course. Photoshop, has Photoshop been acting up for anyone else? It's like I pressed the B for brush 5 times and it just doesn't take. It's very weird. It's never done that before. A candlelight dinner? Asked Christopher. Maybe. If that's what people are into, why not? Dinner and a movie? Dinner and drinks? When isn't Photoshop acting up? Asked Jane Max. Yeah. It can sometimes get a bit like that. You're right. So Angus Fungus says Adelaide has a fair few Sudanese. Well, I think they are everywhere now. So does Melbourne. We can swap Sudanese stories. Frog butt. Look at that little frog. Just looking up there. What are you guys talking about? Ellie Muna says, I miss Colorado, lived there for a year. Beautiful mountain country. Yeah, see, that's what I want to visit. I want to visit Colorado. I want to visit Montana. I want to visit Washington State. All that, area. See it all. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Although there is beautiful landscape here to see in Australia as well, it's just so remote. It's a whole ordeal to get out there, There's nothing around it. Whereas in Colorado, there's actual cities and stuff. In every state, there's a city. Whereas there's whole areas. Like imagine there wasn't a single major city outside of New York, I don't know, like Florida, like I don't know what, Miami, Dallas, and LA. And that was it in the whole states. Everything else was empty. Small towns here and there, but mostly empty. That's what it's like. So getting out there to seeing that stuff, it's a pain in the ass. Seven likes. I love that song, Rocky Mountain High. I listen to that all the time. Narwhal can take us mountain climbing in Washington. I would love to go mountain climbing with Narwhal. How did Americans treat you? Asks 7 of 9. I was talking about that today. I've been raving about it. Americans are probably the equal nicest people I've ever met alongside Italians. They go out of their way to be incredibly polite and nice to you. It was very pleasant. That's sort of a people say that about Americans, that they're incredibly nice. Not so much in the big cities, but I think that's normal. But everyone I met was, man, so polite, so nice, so friendly, so welcoming. Now, some of them were just trying to sell me something, but I appreciate it nonetheless. 7 says, can you do an American accent? How about that? It's the best I'm going to do. Or I could do it like Rob. Well, I see. Can you do an American accent? That's his impersonation of John Malin, if you can believe it. Christopher says Alice Springs is about the only city inland. Yeah, I mean, and if you were to call Alice Springs a city compared to like an American city, they would laugh at you. What's the population in Alice Springs? Alice Springs population 31,000. Is that a city by American standards? I don't know if it is. It's a town. Perth points out Alice Springs is a war zone at the moment. Yeah, I've seen some pretty crazy stuff. We live in mad times. Mad times. Australia is so big, says Sir Angus Fungus. It's so hot. It doesn't want to... Well, it's not that hot. I mean, obviously on the interior, it probably gets pretty hot. But people have an idea that Australia is like a... And it is a desert, but it's where most people live. 85% of Australians live in either temperate or semi-tropical. I mean, definitely the majority of Australians live in a temperate climate. Just like, you know, I'm guessing most Americans live in. Seven says, your American accent is as bad as my Australian accent. I've done some good ones, but I have to kind of study it. I have to live it. Get in the zone. Pulling it out, it's a bit, you know, it's hard to shake the Australian accent. It's very, takes over, you know. Moromi says it was 110 in Georgia yesterday. It was about that in Florida when I was there. It was pretty stifling. It was very humid too. All right. What do I want to do here? I'm just going to do it normally, and then I'll see. I'll see what I want to do. But Buddha Bear says, my American accent. America! Yeah. Oh, I think I just had a backer. Thank you to whoever backed. I get little notifications on my phone now. Give me a little tingle. Thank you very much. You rock! It's not the heat that really bothers me, it's the humidity. It's very humid in Florida. Very humid. Painfully almost. So I live in the south. Australia is the US flipped upside down and mostly desert. It's mostly desert for a number of reasons, but the flipped upside down thing is funny because obviously in the States, Florida is, you know, hot and a bit more, I don't know if you call it tropical, but kind of, you know, more Caribbean or whatever. I don't know I don't know the language you want to use, but and that's like Queensland. Queensland definitely gets tropical up in the north, and in the south it's temperate and cooler. even to the point of quite cold. It gets pretty cold here in Melbourne. It gets very cold in Tasmania. And very flat. Yes, Christopher Burkle. Very, very flat. Because Australia's in the smack bang in the middle of its own tectonic plate. So it doesn't get, we don't get many earthquakes. There's not much pressure for anything to kind of pop up. So yeah, some of the oldest landscape is in Australia because it's existed for a gazillion years, which is a scientific term. Antoine says Queensland is where all the performative gay guys live. Not quite actually. It's kind of the opposite, I think. That's more a Victoria thing, I would say. Queensland is probably the most conservative state, I would imagine. I think it's where a lot of the farmland is. Although there is a lot of like fruit farming and stuff like that down here in the south. All Australians sound the same to me. Yeah, we mostly are. That's a funny thing. So in the States, you can kind of hear where people are from based on where they live, but it's not like that in Australia. It's very weird. So you can grow up next to someone who sounds like me, or someone who sounds like a real Ock and they talk like this. Oh yeah, I'm an Aussie like that. Or someone who talks a little bit posher and sounds a little bit more British when they speak. There's really only about that. I mean, there's immigrant populations that have developed their own kind of dialect. We call it a WOG accent, or Adelaide has a bit of a twang to it, but mostly we sound the same. A real ocker, says Ellie Muniz. Yes. Seven says, I think I could tell the difference between an Aussie and a Brit. Well, it depends on where they're from. Londoners sound pretty similar to me, but you can, if you know the difference, you know, especially if you know what words to look out for. Obviously, the slang is quite different. All right, I'm going to try something here. Pooh. Did this wrong. Poe says there's an Aussie accent with an upward inflection at the end of the sentences, and it's maddening when everyone does that. Yeah. Look, I don't want to hate on my Australian ladies, but it's a very female way of speaking here in Australia with the inflection, and it drives me insane. Does my head in. But I married a French woman, although she sounds pretty Aussie now. I mean, to other people, not to me. She doesn't sound Aussie to me at all. But yeah, it is a bit like the Valley Girl accent. Thankfully, we don't get much of the vocal fry here. It's like, oh my god, like that. Thankfully. What's the Chinese Aussie accent? It sounds a lot like the Chinese American accent. It's quite similar. Yeah. succulent Chinese meal. There's so the biggest other accent is what I mentioned earlier, the Wog accent, which is just it's an amalgam of how Greeks and Italians started speaking Australian English when they were kind of ghettoized in Western Sydney and Northern Melbourne. So it's quite strong there, but it's kind of become its own thing where, you know, they talk like this, you know, oh yeah. But this is kind of a stereotype, like, oh yeah, mate, how you going, mate? Oh yeah, we'll talk like this, you know? Oh yeah, on Lebanese too, of course, yes. Con the Fruiterer, frankly, has it. I want to find some Con the Fruiterer. That's perfect. Go down memory lane here, man. Con the Fruiterer. Oh my god. Let's see if you guys can understand this. Alright, sharing audio. Here we go. Volume's up. Alright, this is Con the Fruiterer from the Comedy Company. Was Eric Banner in the Comedy Company? I think he was. This was, man, we used to have such good comedy here.
Anyway, gentlemen, look, you know, summer's coming here again, and I got the beautiful lettuce for the salad. Have a look at that. Wait a minute. This one here. Beautiful. Put him in the water. Couple of days. Doesn't matter. No, it's okay. I'll get you another one. Doesn't matter. Because, you know, summer's here, and it's the time for salad. Beautiful. Time for fruits. And Tommy will go to the beach to take it easy. You know,
take it easy.
My daughter.
Eric Banner was full frontal.
Tula,
Yeah, that's
Sula,
right.
Tula, Vula, Fula, and a guppy.
Tula, Bula. What was Tula was freaking that fat actress who got skinny, the blonde one who got famous. She was on Wog Boys. What was that? Wog Boys. I'm gonna search Wog Boys Tula, and you'll see where she got her break.
Swim myself, you know, but it's funny because when they get down to the beach, they forget everything, you know, and they have to be rescued by.
This is so not. I mean, I used to love this when I was a kid, but it's just not that funny, you know. What is her name? Tula? How do you spell Tula? Wog Boy. Oh, is it Pizza Boys or Wog Boys? It was Fat Pizza. Oh my god. All right, I'm forgetting everything. Oh, look at her. All right, this is it.
Who do these bikies think they are to come and give us pizza guys stick? Oh, what, we're low because we're doing pizzas?
Yeah, that is an authentic Sydney Wog accent. Maybe a little bit caricaturized, but pretty good.
Man, we've all fired up. This was for Jocko Pride. It was just like when the Pearl Harbor Gallipoli fight happened and then Jocko's won. Hey, like, have you got any martial arts and that, like skills, because you're Asian?
Nah, but I can pretend and make them man guys shit themselves, mate.
I
remember watching this.
Hey,
just one phone call,
Where's Tula?
and those bikers will learn not to make Habib their bitch.
yeah, Habib, what's up, yourself?
Rocky, I need...
Are these guys Lebanese? I can't remember. Choco Pride. Walla bro, fully hectic kebab, mate. Makes me want to play the lightning strike. Oh my god, mother. Oh yeah, Fat Pizza was good, huh? Back in the day. Yeah, they're the Lebos. The Lebs. This is good stuff.
It's you there, all that gang, all our cousins, straight away, ASBA.
It's your cousins, mate.
These e-pieces have got me a shit, bro. You tight ass. Get some good ones next time.
Hurry up, delay. Reception, hello, Rocky.
What's wrong, man?
Let's get the tour.
But then out of the blue.
Look at her.
gang and Habib's cousin showed up, mate.
Yeah, there you go. A little bit of Australian culture for you there. Oh my god, mate. What is that? Where is that? What is it? Rob used to play that all the time. Oh my god, lightning strike. Which one? Now this one has... This one has... Okay, I'll play this one. I want to know if this is real. It seems... I don't know. I don't know if it's real. But... I don't know how it could be faked. Ah, I shared it without audio. Hold on a sec. Idiot. Here we go. No. No. Yes. Speaking of, how is Rob doing? I mean, I think he's healthy. I just don't know if he's ready to jump back into streaming. But, I mean, he's been coming on to Camel Nights, so maybe he is. Jav says, Australians have a so good direct pipeline to the Japanese used car market. I mean, yeah, we have a lot of Japanese cars here. Do I drive Japanese? Is Mazda Japanese? Or is that Korean? I don't know. Is this real life? We're about to find out. So this is lightning almost strikes a girl in Sydney. Boyfriend's reaction is priceless.
Hey baby, slow down, wait for me. Oh wow, it's pretty rocky here, hey.
It's like, why would he be filming? Because you can't, this isn't Back to the Future. You can't predict when lightning's going to strike. So why would he be filming himself putting on an accent? That must be his real accent. And that has to be the most exaggerated Sydney accent I've ever heard. But, I don't know.
Hey, slow down on the rocks, baby. It's dangerous in there.
Baby, slow down on the rocks, baby. It's dangerous over there.
Oh my god, baby, the bloody lightning bolt just missed you. Holy bloody mother of God, Jesus fucking my God, baby, come back, the lightning bolt nearly hit ya. Oh my God, baby, you alright?
Hey baby, slow down, wait for me.
Is that real? I mean, it has to be. That you can't fake that. You can't fake it. Looks like a mushmouth. Campbelltown accent, is it? Oh my god. I need to get back up to Sydney.
Come back here. Oh my God, baby, the bloody lightning bolt just missed you. Holy bloody mother of God, Jesus fucking my God, baby, come back, the lightning bolt nearly hit ya. Oh my God, baby, you alright?
The crazy thing is, I understand every single thing he says perfectly. Bird says it's fake. Maybe, I mean, it does seem too good to be true. But then I don't know how we would do it. Oh my God, baby, the lightning bolt just missed you, baby. Oh my God. It's silly. It is. I think I've just got one last thing to do. And then I'm going to go and have dinner, I think. Holy bloody baby, bubble of God. Good on him. Alright. I have no idea if this is going to work, but I guess I can just try. If it doesn't work, I'll just try something else later in private. know. I think that works. They're looking up at a wave that's coming up. Might need to go a bit higher, but I think that works. It does the job. I might cut it right over the Illuminati thing. Cool. All right. Everyone would sound like that being that close. Yeah, I have been working at work when lightning struck right above our head on this tin. I mean, the whole building shook. The sound was deafening. I mean, it was like nothing I'd heard before, and it was terrifying, and we all jumped out of our seats. Courtney says, no one has ever really told me anything about Wollongong, no matter how many times I ask. It's an inland town. I don't really remember much about Wollongong. You drive through it kind of on the way up north from where I am. It's just a town. Is there anything specific you want to know about Wollongong? Now, when you make that selection, what key do you press to drop that shadow? Well, I've got a mask, so I just grouped my so I've got these in a mask. These are like layers. If I take that off, it's just all white. And then I grouped that, and I made another mask that looks like that, and I just cut that off. So that's masking out this. So that's how it's disappearing. But all the information is still there. So if I want to correct it, it's still all there. Everything I do, if I can, I work in masks so that I don't have to ever redo anything. I can always just go back and have it if I want. That was very vague. Lol, my mum is I think I've been there once, drove through it. It looked like any other Australian, you know. I think it's quite a large town. The first rule of Wollongong is don't talk about Wollongong. I don't know anything about it. I mean, it's got a funny name, but then again, there's a million towns named like that in Australia, like, you know, Bugabang or Wagga Wagga or something like that. You know, we don't talk about the Gong. Yeah, I know that people call it. I've known pretty cool guys from the Gong. They did call it the Gong. It's just this town, you know. It's a town you drive through. Cool. Thanks, Mac. Well, I think it's not on the main highway if you go up to Sydney from here, but if you take the more scenic route, I think it's, if I'm thinking of the same place, I might not even be talking about the right place. I don't know. So all these towns start to sound the same, yeah. Here you go. Wollongong is where the majority of kangaroo knife fights happen. I'll take your word for it. Siege says the best one near me is called World's End. Yeah, some pretty funky names, I'll tell you that. Alright, everyone, I think that's it for me. Can't stream tomorrow because I'm at work. Or maybe I can. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what's going on tomorrow. We'll see if Rob is streaming. Other than that, anything else going on? Aerith is launching something on Friday. We're getting Jose back. He's doing a second chance. His fulfilled Lumina box. So he wants to let everyone know. Next week, I'll be going on quite a big show. Pretty excited about that. It's outside of CG. Still related though. Adjacent. So that's exciting. But other than that, I think that's it for me for now. I will be going in, having dinner. Thank you everyone who's back to thus far. Thank you everyone who's back today. Keep this train running, getting to 55,000. It's going to be awesome. And I will I'll see you soon. All right, bye.